Hi, and welcome to Let's Talk Macarthur. I think this is episode 13 we're up to now. And today's guest is going to be on a subject that we are all loving at the moment, and that is the thought of travel. But first, we'll just go through a couple of thank yous. So I'd like to thank my regular contributors, Coleman Greig Lawyers, Fitzpatrick Robinson Group Accounting, R&W Mount Annan, and Narellan, of course, Wakeling Automotive Group with Scott Wakeling, and Chantel Yeoman from TechnoFunc Fitness Studios. So today's guest is owner and manager of Helloworld Travel Camden. Alison, hello, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you, Mark?
Yeah, fantastic. You'd be loving being back into the office now.
Yep, sure am. I've actually been in the office the whole way through lockdown, but with the doors locked, obviously. But it's so nice to be able to actually talk to people and people coming in and out.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get onto the travel in a second. I think when I do these interviews, it's really important for me to understand who the people are that run these businesses in our local area. And so people in the area can get to know you a little bit better as well. So are you a local Camden or Macarthur girl?
I am. I'm a born and bred Camden girl. Camden Hospital, Camden Public School, Camden High School.
Wow, Camden, everything.
Yeah, sure am. And I haven't moved very far, obviously, from home. I've stuck with it. So.
Oh, fantastic. So when you finished school, did you go straight into the travel industry?
Yeah, well, what I actually did was with my HSC, I actually did a year 11 and year 12, a TAFE course as a part of a HSC subject for the travel and tourism. So when I left year 12, I found this traineeship through this lovely little agency in Camden. And that's where I completed my 2-year traineeship. And then I'm still here. Nothing's changed. A bit of a boring story, actually.
Wow. So how long has that been now?
23 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I started as a traineeship and then went on to manager, and then a few times the opportunity came up to purchase the agency, and I didn't have the confidence to do it, and eventually I took the challenge on.
Fantastic. So how long ago did you purchase the agency?
Just over 8 years ago.
Wow, okay. Yeah, it takes courage to do that, you know. My eldest daughter is taking the step of moving from being a property manager for an agency to opening her own agency all the way up in Corindai. So she launches on the 2nd of November. So I wish her all the luck as well. And you're right, it does take courage, and you got to take a little bit of a confident step forward. But you know, there's a great quote, and it says it's better to rather than do something perfectly, it's better to just to start.
Just get in there, just
get in there and do it. Absolutely. So what do you love about travel?
Oh gosh, there's just something about travel. You just, once you get into it, you can't leave it. It's just something really rewarding about booking someone's holiday and just the whole process. You get to know. I mean, I've got that many clients that I've known for the 23 years now that I've been in the industry, and they become friends, and you get excited about their trips. And you know, we do a bit of traveling ourselves as well, so that's all part of it. And yeah, it's just a job that you just get passionate about. You can't leave.
and you're helping people into a happy place.
Definitely. And when they come back and they've had that fantastic holiday, and you know you've helped them or you've recommended something that they absolutely loved, it's all worth it.
Yeah. Well, you were recommended to me by a lifelong friend of mine, Paul.
Yes.
And I believe he and Donna have already booked a cruise.
They have.
And he says he's going to the Baltics.
Yep.
So I'm going, gee, what year is that? 2024? And he goes, no, next year.
I know. No waiting. Straight into it.
Straight into it. So they've really been missing it, and they're regular cruisers. So one of my questions is, where's the cruise industry at the moment?
Yeah, funny you should ask that, because I did hear it. I haven't heard anything officially, but I did hear on the media this morning, and we can't always trust what they say, but they did let leak that cruising will possibly be given the green light before Christmas. Wow. So I don't know what's going to happen with that, but I do know that cruise ships do need a few months to prepare, but that's just, we're just ecstatic about that, because we have quite a big cruise market through our agency, and I do have a lot of clients that are cruisers, so they'll be just absolutely over the moon to think that they can get back to cruising.
So with the cruising market, do you find that people either love a cruise after their first experience and just keep going back for more?
Yep.
And do you find the other side too, where somebody experiences a cruise and they go, "Nah, it's not for me. I'll do
Yep.
something else."
Yep. You either love it or you hate it. I love
Yeah.
it. I
Do
love it.
you?
Yeah, I do. And the whole family, it just suits us. But yeah, there'll be people that'll go on and go, nah, wasn't my cup of tea. But that's okay. Everybody's different. And
Yeah.
a lot of people like to be able to get off and go and see things, but sitting back, sipping on a cocktail and going to some shows and having my meal brought to me is just perfect for me with small children.
Yeah, I fell into the trap of buying myself a watch on board. So
Yeah,
that always happens, doesn't it? Eh?
That's
you
right.
got a spare hour, just go
Yeah.
wandering through the shops on
Yeah.
the boat. You
That's
catch
right.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
they have those cheap sales, cheap jewelry sales. Yep.
yeah, but I found the food absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. Look,
Yeah.
I have not been on a cruise where I had to complain about the food. So there are people that do complain about the food. And I'm sure there are some cruises that, the quality may lack a little bit, but I've been fortunate that it's just always been fantastic. So no complaints from me.
So obviously we're talking about the big liners. What about smaller, more intimate luxury cruises? Are you finding that's a bit of an upswing in the market?
Yeah, for sure. Actually, I've got quite a lot of people that are after moving away from the bigger ships and getting onto the small luxury ocean cruises. The likes of Viking. I was trying to book someone the other day and 2023 was sold out in the top cabins. That's just crazy. So yeah, and that tends to be the trend a little bit at the moment. People aren't going for your basic inside cabin or your basic ocean view. They want balcony, they want suites, they want penthouse. I think we've all been locked up for so long. Everybody just wants to get out and enjoy themselves and splurge a little bit, which is nice.
Yeah, it is nice. How are you going with information from the government in terms of destinations and what requirements are at the moment?
Yeah.
And where do you think it's going to head down the line for your customers?
Yeah, look, that's really tricky at the moment because we actually don't have a lot of information. It's all coming through slowly, and head office will help us with that as well. But there are a lot of requirements, and there's different requirements for different airlines, different destinations, PCR tests, quarantines when you arrive. Everywhere has different requirements. So it is a little bit daunting out there at the moment, just to make sure that we are giving the right information. So yeah, it's a learning curve for all of us.
I suppose more than ever now, having a relationship with a good agent rather than trying to navigate your own way through booking and working out what's required is more important than ever.
More important than ever. And it's not just that, it's also making sure you've got the right travel insurance. You need to know that you've got the right cover for where you're going, and yeah, just us to be able to navigate it with the clients, because that's what we will do. You come in to book a holiday and we'll be the ones that'll be researching and telling you what's required here and what's required there. So it is important.
So travel insurance, let's just concentrate on that for a moment, right? Is that a bit like a Telstra plan or a healthcare plan?
Well,
I thought travel insurance was just travel insurance.
Yeah, well, we make it a little bit easier for everybody because obviously we've done a bit of training on it and we know the ins and the outs. It's not as complicated as what people make it out to be. But yeah, there is a lot of fine print under the travel insurance. So yeah, it's just one of those things.
Yeah,
you got to have it.
Yeah. So what sort of timing are your customers sort of booking for now? Are they looking at shorter term, medium term, or are they really booking out long term?
Yeah, well, what we're currently sort of doing at the moment is we are doing a lot of rebooking at the moment for those that had missed out on getting away in July, August, September this year, because we did have a lot of itineraries that people couldn't travel on. So they've just sort of said, let's just go in next year. So we are booking a lot of the middle of next year, but a lot of the international stuff is sort of being looked at for 2023. So middle of next year for domestic, but 2023 seems like it's going to be the year for international to really come back. I would imagine that we're going to also get some of those once everyone's sort of traveling and people have come back and they've been okay. I think next year will pick up, but at the moment, yeah, everyone seems to be skipping next year and worrying about 2023.
This next one's going to be your hardest question of the whole interview, right? Because I've got a nephew who's having a baby well, he's not having a baby, his wife's having a baby in November. When are we going to be able to get across to Western Australia to see them?
Oh my goodness, don't talk to me about Western Australia. Yeah, well, that is a very good question. Depends on that state premier, but he's talking possibly not till April, May next year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is really crazy. And the state has got so much to offer. And yeah, anyway,
well,
we'll get there.
We've cancelled twice in the last 18 months to be able to get there. And when you see when people are flying over and they close the borders halfway across the air and they've either got to quarantine for 2 weeks or turn around and fly home, it's not worth the risk.
No, you don't want to do that. That's for sure.
And I guess that's one of the things people will be looking for to you to answer, is that when they're booking these things, they want to know what their risk is if something else happens again.
Yep, exactly.
And I guess that's where having the right travel insurance comes in. But I think it's understanding where the government's going to as well in terms of the instructions that they're giving your industry to provide that guidance.
Yep, exactly. That's right. And they have said, like the state premiers have clearly said that they will do lockdowns if need be. So we have to be prepared for that as well. Yeah.
All right. So, Alison, you've done some travel.
Yes.
What's your favourite destination domestically?
Okay, domestically. Oh God, it's so hard because it's so many fantastic places. Okay, Broome was pretty damn good. I really enjoyed Broome.
Yeah.
Oh, Darwin was really good too. And you know what I really enjoyed, actually, we did a family road trip from New South Wales. We drove down into Victoria. We went along the Great Ocean Road, back up through Ballarat, Bendigo. And that was great. And that was that was a road trip. And that we've got great memories from that.
Yeah, no, it's nice. And you're right, it is hard. It's a tough question because there's so many great destinations. I've only been to Darwin once, but that was to go fishing up there. That was sensational.
Oh, yeah, my husband talks about that all the time.
Yeah, it was such an eye-opener. It really was, and had a really, really good time. All right, so what about your favourite destination internationally?
Okay, so, well, I've got a few again. I'd say Canada, the Rockies, the Rocky Mountaineer. That was brilliant. Loved it. And the Canadians are so beautiful. We did a family holiday to Singapore just before COVID hit, so the end of 2019. Loved it. Kids loved it. They still talk about Singapore. Copenhagen. Oh, that was really good too. Yeah, there's that just
you make
names
a lot of people jealous. Yeah, you're making a lot of people jealous right now.
Well, I've got to travel to be able to recommend things, so
it
comes with the job.
It's all research, right?
Yeah, that's
write that off in your text.
Definitely.
Canada is on my bucket list. It always has been. I've never been. I'd love to go.
Beautiful, loved it. Yep.
Yeah, and the people there seem so friendly, which is good. Yes. Japan is my number one spot. I love Japan.
Okay, I haven't been to Japan, but everybody loves Japan. Everyone's raving about it.
I'll tell you what, for everybody listening, they need to make some sort of effort at some point, if they can and they're able to get to Japan.
Yeah.
Because when you can immerse yourself in the culture and just see the way these people act on a day-to-day basis and how they interact with each other and the public, it's just incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I've got some absolutely fantastic stories and we won't do them now, but it's just the way that they respond to people and help them, just genuinely help them.
Yep.
Not for any reward.
No,
just because it's the nice,
people.
Polite thing to do.
Yeah, that's right.
And the food is sensational.
Yeah. It's just all part of the experience.
It is.
Yeah.
Fish markets in Tokyo. Yeah, really good.
You can have that one on your own. I'm not into seafood.
So 8 years ago, you took over the reins of the business. So how have you managed to juggle the pressures of business and home?
Okay. Yes, it is a bit of a struggle sometimes. But I think the biggest thing is I don't sweat on the little things, you know, as long as everyone's happy, as long as everyone's getting fed, you know, there's food on the table, the clothes are clean. If the house isn't always perfectly clean, well, that's all right. I'll get to it eventually. But it is a juggle. But everybody seems to, the kids know no different because I've always worked. So, you know, they just know to go with it. And hubby works long hours as well. So we just all get in there and we work it out.
Yep. And that's what we do, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Where have you gotten your inspiration from in the past?
Look, I'd have to say mum and dad, no doubt. You know, dad's always had his own business. They've always worked hard. They've always worked together as a team. They're probably one of my biggest supporters. The encouragement I've always had from them. So yeah, they would have to be probably the two that I would most say.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And what sort of business for your dad?
Dad had heavy haulage.
Right.
Yeah. And then my grandfather also, he was into the chicken farming. So, you know, there's a bit of a background and bit of family history around.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What was your favourite book when you were younger?
Oh, look, to be honest, I'm not really a reader as far as books go. It's really terrible to say.
Well, flip it then. What was your favourite movie when you were younger?
Grease.
Oh, Grease.
Yeah, Grease.
Love it.
Yeah. Dirty Dancing, Grease. Yeah, all those corny ones that are the good old classics.
I got chills. Yeah.
That's right.
We actually did a school production of Grease the musical, and I was in it. I was just an extra on the dance floor during the dance competition, but absolutely loved it and great memories. So I'm with you there. I love that one too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Which is really good. I normally finish off these interviews with a couple of quick fire questions. But one question I do want to ask you, because you're in travel and I don't work in the industry. So if you were the interviewer and you're interviewing yourself, what's one question you would have asked yourself that I haven't?
Okay, so probably maybe something based around staff.
Staff? Yeah. So how many staff do you have?
So currently I have got 3 girls plus myself. But before COVID, there were 6 of us. And, you know, I think the staff are also one of the main things that make this business, because without good staff, you've got nothing. And the girls that work here are just beautiful, and they're all passionate and they all love travel as well. So, and we all get along really well.
Yeah, which is great. And what sort of ongoing training do you provide the staff?
Yeah, so we do a lot of training through head office, which Helloworld are excellent for the training. And then we get the trips that come up as well, which we have the opportunity to go on, which we usually go on with other travel agents. And so they're all different destinations, and they, you know, take us away and show us everything about it. So that's probably one of the best training that you can actually get. And, you know, we do team dinners, and we always have a great Christmas party, and
Nice. Yeah. So what did you do, or how did you manage to keep the communication levels with the staff while you had the doors closed?
So we did a few Zoom meetings, so that was a little bit fun. And I just kept in contact with them. So I just give them a call and just check in and see how they were going. And then as soon as we could, we took the opportunity and went out for dinner. So had a little bit of a celebration. We made it through lockdown, and here we are, and we're all having dinner together. So
which is awesome.
That was nice. Yeah.
A lot of businesses have taken this time to probably cut a little bit of fat out of their business as well, because it's been very, very important to make sure the bottom line is staying healthy.
Yeah.
And it's easier to affect the bottom line by reducing expenses, because you've got to make double on the income to be able to replace that. So you've gone from 6 staff down to 3. How are you going to see that fit in over the next few months as things get busier and busier, and you return to some sort of normal cycle of business?
Yeah, so currently also to cut back on some costs, the girls are only doing a couple of days a week. So obviously their days will increase back to pre-COVID days once we start getting busier, and I'll start looking at getting more staff back as well. But obviously we've got to tread very carefully, because, you know, doing the bookings and the inquiries now doesn't necessarily mean we're getting paid now. So, you know, we may not get paid until, you know, for holidays until next year sometime. So you still got all your other expenses and everything that you've got to look after in the meantime.
Yeah, and I guess that's one of the reasons why the rebooks are so important for you at the moment.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. That's a really good question. Thanks, Alison.
It's okay.
All right, what's your favourite word?
Yes.
Yes, love it. What's your least favourite word?
No.
Predictable. What turns you on?
Oh, what turns me on? Nice bar of chocolate.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's probably as simple as chocolate. Yeah.
What turns you off?
My son whinging that he can't have the Xbox. Yeah.
How old?
11.
11.
Yeah. Does a lot of whinging.
Yeah. Don't we call them tweens or something?
Yeah.
In between a child and a teen.
Yes.
What sound or noise do you love?
Sound or noise that I love? Oh, I don't think you can go past the ocean.
My wife loves that too.
Yeah.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Oh, it'd have to be the nails on the chalkboard. Oh, yeah, no, I can't stand that.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Oh, that's hard when you've only had one profession. I would be no good at it whatsoever, but I wish I was good at, which would be something like designing, you know, interior designing. No, a bit terrible at it, but anyway, it's interesting.
It shows an artistic sort of side to your brain.
Yeah, which I don't have a lot of artistic side, but anyway, it'll be fun.
What profession would you not like to do?
I definitely wouldn't want to be a politician. Yeah.
I'm only smiling because the last person I interviewed, which is the episode's going live next week, so is that he's actually running for Campbelltown City Council. So just about everybody asks that question to say, I wouldn't want to be a politician. I'm asking him and I'm going, well, what am I going to get? So
yeah, exactly. Oh, good luck with that one.
If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Probably something like, well done. You've done a good job. Welcome. Yeah.
That'd be nice to hear, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Alison, thank you very, very much for coming on Let's Talk Macarthur today.
Thanks, Mark.
It's been an absolute pleasure having you, and I certainly hope that that everything sort of moves in a linear line now for travel bookings.
Me too.
And people being able to get out and about. We just want people to de-stress a bit, get out, do some travel, have a great time. Have some family time that's not in the house.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And then when you come back, you can come and see me at R&W at Mount Annan, and we can change the house. So that's we can do all of it between you and I. We've got it covered, right?
Yep. Have a holiday and then move house.
That's exactly right. Yeah. No, thank you very, very much, Alison.
Thank you,
and
Mark.
I look forward to being able to come down to Camden and say hi in person, and maybe Darlene and myself can book ourselves a holiday at some point too. Which
Sounds
would be nice.
Great. Perfect.
Excellent.
Thanks for having me.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.